Good evening, Iowa and the world. Welcome to the Doc and Lefty program here, broadcasting to you from webcast1live.com studios in downtown Des Moines. This is Lefty coming every Tuesday with the perspectives you love from the sides that you hate. And with me, as always, is Santa's number one helper, his main man and personal confidant, Dr. Patrick Petrosh. Doc, what's up?
Hey, you know what? Not much, except I'm way on the left side of the screen. That's no good. I'm going to have to adjust a little bit.
Well, we got to
that's a plot by our leftist producer over there.
We've got. Hey, you know what? I'm going to stop you right there because you texted me today on the show, folks. We are going completely off grid. We're going completely nonpartisan. This is 2 days.
I don't think I can do it.
You don't think you can do it? Well, aside from the fact that
I'm already in withdrawal,
I believe that the Christmas holiday is a bourgeoisie plot perpetuated by the Koch brothers and other corporate fat cats to bilk the money out of hardworking Americans. Anyway.
Well, I'm glad.
I thought you were going to get a rise out of you.
Well, no, I agree with you,
but folks.
What is there? That's absolutely what it is. That's why.
I guess if I'm making a moral judgment that it's bad, that's where we disagree.
All right. Well, here's the thing. There's a lot of people they're running around. They're insane. All the pressure. Oh my God, it's last minute. Got to go get presents. That is what Christmas is about, and you're supposed to hold it in your heart all year long. So those and my entire family know that we just don't exchange gifts. If there's something you need during the year, you give us a call. Mm-hmm. We'll help you with it.
I think we've talked about that every year that we've done this show. Well, anyway, I wanted to bring the show in by saying that today we're kind of putting all the regular stuff aside. We'll obviously be back at it next week when we're ringing in the new year. This is one of those interesting shows where we get to kind of be on right before the new year. 2015 rolls around. It's going to be an excellent year for everybody involved, I hope. Anyway, we've got two special guests in the studio with us tonight. We've got our good friend who I just met today, Kirk Sloan, is on the guitar playing some Christmas music to kind of get this.
Very nice.
It is very nice.
We should do this every week.
We should. This is my jam right here.
Yeah, it's
classical
nice.
guitar, picking out the classics. I love it. Anyway, and then with us as well is our guest Matt Nyberg, who is here to talk about his charity, his cause, the race that he's running to help save the life of someone really special in his life, someone that has touched a lot of lives around the community, and we're going to give him a chance to talk about that here in a second. But this show is all about the meaning of the season. It's all about which, as long as it's positive, as long as it's helpful, as long as it's healthy for you, that can be whatever meaning you want to describe to that statement. But we're here to talk about what we're thankful for, what's special to us, and what is hopefully special to you all. And with that, Doc, I guess I don't know what do you want to talk about here before we get to our guest?
Well, I kind of thought that every segment we throw out a little bit about what we're grateful for. I'm going to tell you, I don't know where to start, but I'm going to start with something I've been grateful for a solid half a decade now.
What's that?
And that is the first time you're outside shoveling. And I thought, leave it to a liberal to try to shovel that. So he's outside, he's shoveling, he's looking. I mean, he doesn't look nearly as old and haggard then as he does now.
I think he
was about 12 or something, and I thought, geez, the neighbor kids adopted somebody. So I went out there to investigate. We got chatting and talking, and I believe it was just after sunset, which would be about 6 o'clock about this time. And I'll be darned, it was 1:30 in the morning. Hey, you guys coming in? What are you guys doing? Are you cold? No, we're good. And that's really how our friendship started. Yep. And I've been grateful that you've been my friend this entire time, because despite our differences, I have a deep and abiding respect for Lefty's mental agility and his ability to be reasonable in the face of, some pretty harsh criticisms, because that's what we do here on the show. So I just wanted to start with that one.
Well, I appreciate that, and I guess not to get too too sappy. I certainly am grateful for the assistance you gave me busting out that ice that was packed in the bottom of that driveway. You know, if we're talking about that classic conservative can-do attitude, I was certainly displaying some of that when I, with my shovel and an ice scraper, trying to break that all up, and then Doc came with a snowblower and took care of business and really saved me a lot of work. And honestly, what I attribute my current C+ appearance to, Doc, is the work that I put into that myself, and I probably would look a little less fantastic than I do now had you not stepped up and helped me out.
Yes,
because the physical stress would have been too much. So I'm grateful for having picked that house and moved in. Even if the circumstances of me moving out of that house weren't so wonderful, you certainly were the best part of living in that neighborhood. And I was just up there last week at those apartments on the corner of Colbywood and Hickman. Yep. And I thought, I should probably take a trip up to the old neighborhood and see what's going on. And I drove past the house, and it looks just the same. And
because nobody's torn it down. The musicians don't live there anymore, so now it looks decent.
Certainly do think that was that's a nice thing to say, and I appreciate that.
Not a problem. I meant it. So, are you gonna? Is that that's what you're leading with? You're grateful for?
I'm grateful for you, buddy.
All right, great. So now that we've had our Mutual Admiration Society, we need to include Maddie.
Oh, we love Maddie.
We do love Maddie. We're grateful for her.
Yep.
She's not too bad. And
not too bad.
Hold on, she's getting on the phone. She's gonna say something.
She's an.
Uh-oh.
I feel like you're putting me on the spot. Can you hear me?
We can barely hear you.
You need your headsets.
Yes, probably.
Well, I don't have one.
I've got it. I'll translate.
All right, great.
I'm grateful for my family every day, but I'm extremely grateful for my dog.
Oh.
My dog. He is the best dog ever. The best dog.
Well,
that's about it, though.
What kind of dog you have?
He's a Border Collie Terrier mix.
All right.
So I'm grateful that he doesn't destroy as many things.
Yes,
as he could.
That is good.
Is where I'm at with that.
All right.
In that same, I think that I'm thankful for Maddie's dog too.
I'm thankful for Maddie and her dog.
Yes.
You're just grateful for her dog.
No,
he's trying to put the shaft to you, Maddie.
I'll tell you,
can't trust other liberals. I'm telling you.
I'll tell you what. I think that on the balance, I am more grateful for Maddie than you, and I express it more readily than you do.
Plus, you get her name right.
I do.
So
I do.
Yeah, there's a bonus. All right, well, we'll come up to a break. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. When we get back, we're going to be back with Matt, and this is exactly how behind I am. I don't even know his last name.
Got it.
But I know he's got a heck of a story. You know why? Our social media girl said, these are two guys you need to have on your show.
Yep.
So this is why we're having the show. It's all about Christmas, which means Christ Mass. And even atheists or agnostics like Lefty can appreciate the good feelings of the season. We'll be back right after this break. Thanks everybody for tuning in.
Associates, how can I help you?
Bertroche and Associates will provide you with a friendly, caring, and confidential place to find help for mental health concerns. We are ready for your call. Our doctor, Dr. J. Patrick Bertroche, provides a full range of psychiatric services for children, adolescents, and adults in a forthright and informative manner while maintaining a casual, comfortable, and relaxed atmosphere.
Whether you're 10, 25, 50, 80 years old and beyond, everyone needs to live within their means. I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of America. For almost a quarter of a century, we've helped people of all ages learn to manage their personal finances to benefit them far into the future. When problems arise, we've got the experience you need to make those debt problems go away. Got financial problems? Call Consumer Credit of America.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
I know.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Now, I'm going to bring you in. I'm going to tear down the fourth wall that we have here, and I'm going to make sure that you understand two things. One, Alfalfa had the spike coming up at the top of his head in the back, like this. Ed Grimley had the shark thing that went straight up from the front of his head like this.
What do you call that?
I don't know. My cowlick doing weird things.
The half Grimley.
What can I say?
Anyway,
so
we should have a whole show on the Grimley.
We're not going to do that. Welcome back to the show. We are here with special guest, our musical accompanist for the entire show, getting us in the Christmas spirit and doing a darn fine job, if I do say so myself. Kirk Sloan on the guitar, and across the table for me is Matt Nyberg. Now, Matt is a guy that here's what I'll say. I knew about you before I met you. Because of Jen, obviously, our social media and marketing expert that helps out with the show, and I had heard of the campaign, but didn't know a whole lot about it. So I'm glad that you're here because I'm interested to ask a few questions behind the show. So why don't you introduce yourself to the audience and we'll just and tell us why you're here. We'll go from there.
Sure. Well, I want to thank you guys for having me a lot. And like I was saying, that C+ appearance, no, we're going to go solid B-.
Hey, no.
Solid B-.
I'm working it there because you know what happens if you get to the B-, you are almost able to graduate with honors. So.
Oh my. Yeah. Well, let me throw politics in there. If you're B- in the income category, you still get taxed extra on the AMT. Just throwing that in.
Anyway, Matt, so tell us.
So
tell us what's up. Tell us what's up and what brings you here tonight.
Well, my name is Matt Nyberg. Some of you probably seen me around the scene. I'm in a bunch of bands and definitely make my presence known around town, building haunted houses, doing all kinds of stuff. One of those guys where a lot of people know of me, but they don't know me. So. But anyways, what brings me here tonight, and I appreciate you guys for having me. Jenna Allen turned me on to coming here. So basically, I just, my best friend, I mean, we had children, and it was one of those situations where, we were so thankful for these kids, and things started to go bad after the pregnancy with her health, and it got worse and worse, and we found out that she had cancer. And being so young, 27 years old, we were in shock. 27 years old, I had never thought about cancer. It was something that, there wasn't a ton of it that I ever had to deal with. And so basically over the years, we've had to really come to terms with a lot of things, and it's really educate ourselves about it, and when you're young, you don't think about it. You're invincible. And then all of a sudden you have to face your own mortality. And so it's been really tough. So being thankful, takes on a whole new meaning in the situation. So what I've been doing is going around for the GoFundMe account that I set up for Nicole. That's my kid's mom and my best friend. And I've been promoting that, and I've also been promoting basically just to be thankful. It's the time of year to be thankful, and you have no idea how mortal you truly are until you have to, face stuff like this. And I've just learned so much. Everybody's got a cancer story. It's just unbelievable. It's been very, very humbling to be involved in it. So
what kind of cancer did your wife have?
Well, she ended up,
and you haven't called her your wife. I'm calling her your wife.
That's fine. No, we're not married. Well, it started off as cervical cancer, spread got into the liver, and the side effects that come from it are just. It's just unbelievable. Just the cancer is one thing. The chemo, the radiation, and the damage that it does. Because basically the chemo and the radiation tricks the body, tricks the cancer into thinking that the body is dead. And that's how the cancer, sometimes goes away, and sometimes it doesn't. And dealing with the chemo and the radiation, it's just that's a sight I'll never forget.
Is she done with her chemo yet? And
she's done a few different rounds of it now over the course of 3 years, and recently, after the last round, she was doing it for months and months on end, and finally they said they pronounced her terminal, and they gave her a time frame of about six months to a year, and said there's that's pretty much it. And I tell people, people, a lot of, we're pretty private people, and we've kept this really quiet, and we kind of talked about it, and I said, unless we start talking about it, maybe we can help somebody, and it got to the point where I mean, financially, we had to reach out as well. So,
and is she still living then?
Yes.
Right now?
Yep. She's alive. She's listening right now online. So.
All right. Hi. How you doing out there? Your man's in here doing his best for you. So what kind of emotional toll is this taking on you and the children?
Oh, it's just devastating. You do your best to hold on and look forward and try to be optimistic about things, but it's always there in the back of your mind. She's, we were pretty carefree. We would travel a lot and kind of do whatever. Well, recently she has to, facing this, she was kind of, well, should I live in Des Moines here, with the kids, but she wants to be close to her family who's, lives on the East Coast. So she's been out on the East Coast a lot and seeing doctors out there. So, the traveling back and forth on both of us is just incredible. And the kids traveling back and forth, I mean, and that's just the traveling. And then, as her condition worsens, the kids are starting to notice, and the kids are 3.5 and they're twins, and they start noticing, mommy's sick, mommy's crying, mommy doesn't feel well. And so it definitely, as things get worse, it gets harder and harder, and I talk to her on the phone, FaceTime with her on the iPad and the kids. And recently there's been times where she's just been bedridden all day in tears. The recent problem is the blood clots. She's got blood clots in her legs and she can barely walk anymore. And they hurt her to the point where she's just in tears 24/7 and can't sleep. So it's getting pretty bad. And the kids of course want to play with her and they can't because she has a hard time getting around anymore. And yeah, it definitely gets harder and harder. A lot of emotions run high. So now you're facing a terminal illness. Yes.
And you're raising twins on your own or looking at it, and you're about ready to lose your life partner. And so you decided to go do this GoFundMe thing to help offset the expenses from the chemo and all that, because chemo is hideously expensive.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of times, even with Obamacare, because I'm gonna throw that in, a lot of times it just doesn't get covered. It's just the stuff is so experimental.
Yeah.
So that's basically what. So we're going to take a break. We're going to be back right after this break. We're going to be with Matt Nyberg, right? I got that right.
Yes.
Yep.
Good deal.
Got it.
And we're going to continue to talk about his story. He seems to be pretty positive about things despite the tragedy, and I think there's a good Christmas story, tale of resilience in the face of, some fairly adverse consequences. I want to thank our sponsors, Petrosian Associates. You can find us out on the web there at petrosianassociates.com, LubinusLawFirm.com, Halo Capital, which is at DesMoinesInterestRates.com, Des Moines Anesthesia, who has sponsored us for a year now, so we should probably ought to send them a little gift or something.
We probably do. We probably need to.
And they're at 515-574-6442. I gotta use my glasses anymore for to read anything. Follow us at Facebook and Twitter. Doc and Lefty, and then of course docandlefty.com. We should be having some blogs going up here pretty quick because I sent in a couple weeks ago, last week. So anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll be back in a moment.
Whether you're 10, 25, 50, 80 years old and beyond, everyone needs to live within their means. I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of America. For almost a quarter of a century, we've helped people of all ages learn to manage their personal finances to benefit them far into the future. When problems arise, we've got the experience you need to make those debt problems go away. Got financial problems? Call Consumer Credit of America.
See them here, see them there. You got bad credit? We don't care.
Visit emetroford.com for your guaranteed credit approval. Good credit, bad credit, no credit. Everybody drives with guaranteed credit approval at emetroford.com. Visit emetroford.com today.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast 1 Live.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking around. This is the first annual Doc and Lefty Christmas show, and we're talking about some pretty heavy stuff today. And we're with our guest Matt Nyberg talking about his a person who's special in his life, the mother of his children, who is struggling with cancer right now. And we got Matt. Before the break, we were talking about sort of the where it came, the history of it, where it came from, how it got started,
Yeah.
And while I'm interested in that a lot, and we need that for the context, especially how important this is to you, and feels like more of a mission than maybe that's the best word for it.
Yeah.
But facing something like this, as young as the two of you are, with very young children who are only now starting to very simply grasp the enormity of what's happening, you seem like a pretty upbeat fella. You seem like a guy that's kept his head on his shoulders, and I've only met you here today, but it feels like you have kind of been able to maintain graciousness and a grace and a gratitude for what you have, and even for what you maybe are going to lose. And I want you to talk a little bit about that, and what's been your inspiration, and what's been able to help you stay on the keep from breaking down, as
Sure.
I think most people would, and no one would fault you for.
Yeah. I'll tell you I don't know if it sounds cheesy or not, but honestly, the main source of inspiration is Nicole. She's the one that has to endure the physicality and the mental state of this whole thing, firsthand. And she is bar none the toughest woman I've ever met in my life. The things that I've watched her go through have just been, it's unbelievable. From the moment she was pregnant, she found herself in the hospital they couldn't find out why the pregnancy was going so hard. She had cancer then, and they had no idea. And they couldn't find out why the pregnancy was going so rough. And for the last 2 months of the pregnancy, she was bedridden in the hospital. And they had no idea why. So she gave natural childbirth, and that's what spread. We think that's what spread the cancer just like wildfire at that point. And she just never, after the kids were born, they spent 2 months in the NICU ward at the hospital because they were so small. They were only 2.5 pounds. And kids recovered nicely, have been growing up healthy, no issues. But she just never recovered from that terrible pregnancy. And so she went in, got checked up, and found out she had cancer. So she began the chemo and the radiation. And, of course, the side effects from that, the nausea, and they start giving you pills to counteract the nausea. Then they give you pills to counteract the effects that those pills are having. It got to the point where she's taking 20 pills in one day, all kinds of vitamins on special diets. And meanwhile, you can just see her, slipping away. And there was times that, seeing her degenerate, there's times where I was, I'd cry. I'd never in front of her. I would just try to do it privately, or I'd talk to my friends and be like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. But then I would go home, and I would see her, and she would never break down. She was always smiling she's so optimistic. It's unbelievable. She's one of the most optimistic people I've ever met in my life. And it doesn't matter how bad it gets. She looks at the kids and she says, I'm going to make it. And she's never said to me, I'm going to die. She's always, even when the doctors told her, you are terminal, you could possibly die in 6 months to a year, she said, well, that's not going to happen. So and through all this and all the torturous things that her body has been through, she has to inject blood thinners directly into her stomach twice a day. And so every day, it's twice a day, and it's just so painful, the needles that she has to use, and it's just unbelievable, the things that she's been through. And to see her remain optimistic is so inspiring to me. It's unbelievable. I've told her, I said, when you come out of this, because she makes me be optimistic too. Mm-hmm. I say, when you come out of this, you need to share your story with everybody because it's unbelievable. I mean, you're taking care of twins and raising children, and here you are going through all this at the same time, and she never loses a step, until recently, it's just, it's unbelievable. Sure. Now, we're going to talk in the next half hour, but I want to kind of set it up about some of aside from telling Nicole's story, the other reason why you're here is that you're running a crowdsourcing fundraising account to help get some assistance with some of the medical expenses that Nicole has had. Yes. And so we'll talk about that here in a second, but before we get to the intricacies of the account, I want you to tell exactly what it is, how it's set up, and how people can get a hold of you. Sure, absolutely. Basically, the expenses, believe it or not, we've been able to cover just about everything so far. And by cover, I mean, a lot of credit cards. I know Nicole herself is in excess of $50,000 in debt on credit cards. We've had a lot of help thus far, but at the same time, financially, it's really taken its toll on us. Mm-hmm. Now, basically with her being pronounced terminal, there's not much else that the hospitals can do. So researching, we found a treatment center in Arizona, and they believe that they can help her. And the treatment, very expensive, of course, but one of the problems that Nicole has is a lot of the vitamins and minerals that the body needs, she doesn't have, and she can't produce anymore because of the damage done. Her blood, I think it was 37% thick. Most people's blood, is 1.5% thickness, and hers is like ketchup. So she's very, very sluggish. Her blood is almost black, and it's almost like a scab, forming. It's terrible to see. And the facility down there, what they want to do is they flush her blood out every day through a machine, and I don't know what the process is called. She told me, but I can't pronounce it. And they basically thin it out, and that's what she needs. She has blood clots in her legs. She has one in her lung because of this thick blood. And last week she had a pulmonary embolism because of the blood clots, and she found herself in the hospital once again, for a side effect of this. So it's imperative that we get her blood thinned out. So we sent her out there for some trial runs of this, and it went very well. She said the first day they flushed her blood out, through the machine, and it was just, it was black and sludgy. Just after 1 week, it was looking a lot better. It was flowing a lot better. So I think that that's a real key to extending her life. And because she's young, she can heal, and I think it's a real key to extending her life. Now the process, of course, is expensive. It's not covered under any insurance. It's thousands of dollars a day. Why don't you tell me what the GoFundMe part of it is, what the name of it is, then we'll take a quick break. Sure. We'll get back to it. Basically, it's if you go to GoFundMe.com/Keep Nicole Alive is what it is. So GoFundMe.com/Keep Nicole Alive, and that's NICOLE for her name, Nicole. And all right, so we're going to be back right after the break. Another thing I'm grateful for is the health of my family. After hearing this story, I'm grateful. Even though I don't get along that well with my ex-wife, boy, I'm glad I didn't have to go through this. And I'm certainly glad of everybody's continuing good health in my family. Anyway, you have anything to say along those? I'm grateful for that. And I'll tell you this. And this is one of the. And we're going to go long because this is personal for me. And Doc and I don't talk about much personal stuff on this show. Let's just skip the commercial break. All right. It is our show. My fiance's mother just beat breast cancer. And this is a woman who has her own issues, or her own health issues, fairly significant health issues that she had preceding this for a long time. Also, someone who, is obviously older, in her 50s, and like I said, wasn't in the best of health anyway, and they caught it stage 3, I think. It had already grown a lot, and it was in both sides. And what gives me hope for, and I don't
know your situation better. So I hope that you don't find this to be kind of a condescending thing to say, but if my fiance's mother, with her own issues and her being older and being less healthy just in general, can lick this, I have a lot of hope for Nicole. And folks, you heard this from Matt. GoFundMe.com. Keep Nicole alive. It's very important. Check out the website. I'm sure you got the story posted there. I got some pictures of you guys, and I think you guys get the sense of what Matt's going through, what his kids are going through, and most importantly, what Nicole's going through, because this is a person who I think that we would all agree is much too young. But anyway, tell us about what to go through this, and even to go through this with, you got family, you got a lot of support.
Yeah. Now, what's the name of this? Is this like the Cancer Treatment Centers of America or something like that? I hear those advertised all the time.
No, this is just you're talking about the GoFundMe account or
no,
or personally?
Where she's going to go get some treatment if you can raise the money.
No, this is a treatment facility in Arizona, which she's pretty far beyond the cancer treatment facilities at this point.
Okay.
This facility down in Arizona specializes in patients like her that are very far advanced into, that have been pronounced terminal. And a lot of the terminal cancer patients are missing a lot of the, certain vitamins, nutrients in the body and things like that.
Right.
And so they are really trying to almost replenish the body in that aspect.
All right. So how much does that treatment cost?
That's the thing, and I want people to know too. It's very important for me I don't want anyone to think that we haven't put up money for ourselves. I mean, we're bankrupt basically. Nicole is $50,000 in debt or more, and then me too. I mean, we've just been shelling out the money for this. So the treatment, all in all, we figure will end up being about maybe $90,000 to $100,000, and
so basically, you need to raise a couple $100,000.
Well, we've got everything covered. We think up until about the $50,000 mark. So we set up the GoFundMe account for $50,000. Okay. And the GoFundMe has been great so far. We set it up. Her brother actually worked with her to set it up, and it's been up, I don't know what it's been now, a week or two, and we're up to, I think, 5,500. So, that's huge. I mean, there's people on there donating that I don't even know. They just stumbled across it, and they, were feeling generous, and they kind of read about it a little bit, and they said, wow, and
oh my God, I can't even look at this picture. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful. Nicole is absolutely beautiful.
Oh, thanks.
These two kids, oh my God, they're so cute. They are.
Thank you.
They are. I'll even turn this monitor around so Lefty can see, because that's what a cute little boy looks like, just in case, you ever wonder. Like when you're looking at your kid, that's what it should look like.
Right. No, I used to look like that. blonde and optimistic.
Oh, yep. I thought you were talking about the bug on this kid's shirt. No, he didn't look like that. Yeah, but this is an absolutely beautiful family.
Thank you.
Yeah, they got $5,500 raised.
Yeah.
That's pretty remarkable. I think people need to go out there. It's GoFundMe.com/Keep Nicole Alive, and it should go well from there.
Yeah.
So, but that's basically what you're doing. You're going to try to get her not necessarily a hospice setting, but something like that.
Yeah, basically she goes out there and stays for, and then we have, obviously a hotel cost to worry about as well. But basically get her out there to stay for about a month's worth of treatments is what they're recommending for her. The blood clots and the fact that they're getting worse and the amount of blood thinners that she has to take, getting her out there will thin her blood and help those blood clots. Because right now, she had a pulmonary embolism last week and just about passed out and collapsed and ended up in the ER again. And I'm so scared that she's gonna have a stroke. And right. She's, like I said, she's so tough, but everybody gets to the point where,
it just gets tough to face every day.
How is now? It's correct me if I'm wrong, and you two would certainly know better than I do. But the issue with the blood clot seems like it's a symptom, it's a secondary effect of what she's been going through with chemo and radiation and everything else.
Yeah.
How is the status of the actual her actual cancer diagnosis? Have they been able to get anything? Is she still?
Yeah, after the last round of chemo and radiation, and she went through that. She did, I think it was 3 different sessions of that, meaning she did 3 rounds. So she would do it for 3 or 4 months, then she would have to break. Then she would do it for more time and more time. The last time it was like 9 months straight of chemo and radiation. I mean, obviously her hair fell out, eyebrows, eyelashes, toenails, fingernails. I mean, it's just unbelievable. So, the blood clots are a different side effect of the chemo and the radiation. So they did the last, after all that big 9-month round of it, they went back and looked, and the chemo and the radiation isn't even helping anymore. It just can't keep up. So it's getting worse, and that's when they told her that you get about a year to 6 months. So so she's been fighting. I mean, it's just inspirational to see how hard she works and fights at this. So,
well, I told our social media person, Jen, to try to get something up on our website that will help with GoFundMe. So I didn't think you would have a problem with that.
Absolutely not.
So anyway,
That's great.
we'll put that up there, see if that helps.
Thank you.
This has been a truly inspiring, I mean, honest to goodness, this is an inspiring story. Gives you hope, even in the face of this kind of terrible thing. You look at the picture. I wish I could show the picture here on TV of his family, but his beloved is beautiful. The children are just cute as bug's ears, and
thank you.
If you go out there, support this guy, support his family. He's not asking for a lot. He's just asking for a few bucks here and there, so he can give his beloved some comfort at the end of her life. Now I do know I got a friend of mine that's really into essential oils, and she does a great job with this. And in fact, I thought it was a bunch of crap until one day, because every once in a while I get a migraine. Had a migraine in the middle of a 70 patient day. I didn't think I was going to make it, and tried some essential oils, and that worked great. Have you guys tried that at all? Any more naturopathic stuff? You've done it all,
Yeah,
huh?
we've tried. I've spent so many hours researching, and so has she. And, we've tried everything. And there's some stuff that helps and some stuff that...
oh, my God. There they are right up there.
Yep, there they are.
Holy smokes. There is no way you ever looked like that little boy. I'm going to tell you. There is no way. Now, you beat that kid with an ugly stick for a couple of minutes. Maybe you get down there. But, I tell you what, that is a cute kid. It's a beautiful little girl, and Nicole looks absolutely fabulous.
Oh, thanks.
So, that is a great family.
Thank you so much. And the fact that she can, or that smile, it's always there. It never goes away.
Yeah, that's
and
terrific.
That's what's inspiring through the whole
thing.
thing.
Put that picture back up. We'll go out on those pictures. I'm going to tell you right now, these are the people you're funding right there. And these are, this is what I know. Jen Allen has a great sense of who's got great character, and she's always reaching out. She's always nice. So, hold on. She hangs out with us.
Yeah, she does hang out with us.
But
that we'll forgive her that one thing.
Well, we just got done with a mutual admiration thing beginning of the show. So,
maybe we're not so bad.
So maybe not. But anyway, these are the people you're supporting, saying 5, 10, 15, 20 bucks. If you got it in you, send a couple hundred. Everything ought to work well like that, okay? This is what makes America great, is our ability to help other people. We're going to be back right after this break. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Please stay tuned. Visit all our sponsors. We'll be back with Matt Nyberg right after this. My next thing I'm grateful for is the ability to come down here and do stories like this and have people in our radio show doing great things. So I'm sure Lefty will second that.
I absolutely second that, and I think the other thing that I'm grateful for the opportunities that doing something like this has presented to meet folks like Matt, like Kirk, like all the guests that we've had, whether you're a friend of the show or a super friend of the show or a super duper friend of the show,
or a quadruple
something.
Lindy.
Something along those lines. And we really do want to thank everybody who's ever been here and who's ever come back, especially the folks who have come back. So
it's always good when they come back.
Yeah, grateful for everybody associated with this thing.
All right, thanks everybody. Be back at the break.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast 1 Live.
Get away from my Sumino credit card. We don't have any more money. We're in trouble now. Save us! Help! Somebody save us! Somebody help! Help! Save us!
Hi, I'm Tom Coates from Consumer Credit of Des Moines. If your credit card's a little too animated, give us a call.
Hooray! We're saved! Consumer Credit! You're our hero!
If Tom Coates from Consumer Credit of America was your personal webmaster, Tom would filter out all bad debt emails. If Tom was your mailman, you'd never get any debt reduction junk mail. If Tom Coates was a lineman, he'd block any phone calls offering to reduce your credit card debt.
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of America, and we're still your best choice for credit counseling. We're local, we're accountable, and we can do more. You make the call when the time's right for you.
When it comes to competition, there really is none for Consumer Credit of America.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking around. We're here with special musical accompanist Kirk Sloan on the guitar. That's him playing every song. You know what? Honestly, this part, Kirk feels like it. Here's what I'm going to start off with something. One of the great things that I'm grateful for, and glad that we're doing it this way today, is one of my favorite memories of this time of year with my family. Is when we used to put up the tree. And what we used to do when we put up the tree, everybody together. Now, at the time, I hated putting up the tree. I wanted to play video games. I wanted to read a book. I wanted to do anything except hang out and put up the tree, because the tree took forever, the decoration took forever, and it was boring. But I remember that we'd put the tree, we'd start decorating. My mom would put on some Christmas CD. We'd do music like this, or some of her favorite singers, or whoever, and it would be a whole day of just that. And that memory is something I'm grateful for, and so
that's a nice memory.
Yeah, well,
So what you're saying is you were causing problems even way back then.
Hey, I didn't want to do what the man told me to do.
Well, and look at you are today, wearing all spiffed up and that. See, this is me dressed up.
Yep.
That's Lefty dressed up over there.
I'm in the uniform today.
Yes.
But so Matt, you were telling us during the break that this isn't just about you, and it isn't just about Nicole, and it isn't just about. This is an issue that is bigger than everybody here in this room.
Absolutely.
And what's been your experience with the community? Have they reached out to you? Have you reached out to other folks, other survivors, other people fighting the good fight?
Yes. Like I said, we never had to. Nicole and I we were so carefree and never thought about stuff like this before. So when this came along, it really knocked the wind out of us. And we've kept really quiet about it until kind of recently when we started putting it out there. And she's been talking to a lot of people, going to support groups, and really seeing talking to other people. And it's amazing how many people are going through this. I mean, it's just humbling, and our first touch of that was being in the hospital and seeing, I couldn't believe it. It was like an assembly line. There's 100 people in a row all getting chemo, and one person's session would be done and they would disconnect him at the arm and wheel him out and bring in the next person, and it just never ended. There was never any shortage of people getting it. And I said, God, I can't believe how many people have cancer. And and to see other people, and talk to other people that have been through it is, everybody. I said it seems like everybody has a cancer story now. Everybody knows somebody. And
what's been the most surprising thing that you've discovered on this personal journey that you've taken?
Wow, that's a good question. I think it's, I don't know. I think it's just I never knew how much I had in me to, like I said, I was a completely different person 4 years ago, and to actually stare death in the face, and not even so much me, but Nicole. I mean, I've just done it through her, and I mean, it really humbles you and it brings you down to earth, and it makes you realize how fragile, we all are. And
have you discovered a reprioritizing of things in your life?
Absolutely. You really get a sense of, me and Nicole have definitely, and I know Nicole has a deep sense of family, and you always care about your family, but the one thing that's always there is for most people is their family, and you really latch on to the people that care about you the most for that support, and they've just been great. Everybody's Nicole's family, my family, and close friends too, and it's just been amazing so far. Everybody's helped out a lot. So,
what about I don't know if this is going to be an insensitive question. I don't mean it to be, but
no, not at all.
But has Nicole kind of made a bucket list and is going through it? Has she done something like that?
Yeah. I mean, she's done a lot. She's lived a good life, and she's hoping to live another 30, 40 years. And she did get out to France recently through her church. They have and gosh, I don't even know where it is, but it's in France, and I'm not sure what it's called, but terminally ill people typically go there to pray.
The Catholic site?
Yeah. For
the life of me, I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's
called.
It's
not Medjugorje, because that's in like Croatia.
Yeah.
You would think, being a good Catholic, I would know this.
Yeah, I can't remember, but she was fortunate enough to be able to go out there and spend some time out there and say some prayers, and and I know she liked doing that. But we've been. I think for her the biggest thing is being around the kids. She loves the kids so much, and they do everything together.
Oh, Lord!
I mean,
duh, it's Lourdes, right?
What's that?
Lourdes.
Lourdes, yeah.
Yes, there you go.
That's it. Yep.
I can't believe I forgot that. Our Lady of Lourdes.
I couldn't remember either.
Holy cow! Suppose it's time to go back to church.
Yeah.
I may get struck dead, but might be time to go.
Yeah.
So has this affected your faith in God at all, or? I guess I'm just assuming that you're a Christian of some kind, and
sure, yeah. I definitely have faith. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a traditional faith that falls into any specific category, but I know that Nicole, had her doubts, and she's really kind of started thinking other things, and I don't know if what she believes in necessarily has a specific category, but I mean, it's definitely Christian and it's definitely good. And she's really, she goes to church all the time now and listens and tries to learn as much as possible and kind of, think about things in her own way. And I know that it helps, and that's what faith and religion should be. I kind of come to your own terms with it and come to your own realizations of it, I feel. So
we're coming up to another break. We want to thank Matt Nyberg for coming on, sharing his story. Very personal and powerful story about his significant other, Nicole, and his two children. Do you have that picture close by, Maddie? Stick that picture up there. GoFundMe.com/Keep Nicole Alive. And these are the people you're helping by donating to this cause. And I'm going to tell you, I'm a hard-bitten psychiatrist, and there's not a lot that moves me, but I'm moved by this story. And it's not just a cancer story. It's a story of life and love and hope, and it's just wonderful. So GoFundMe.com/Keep Nicole Alive. They need to raise about $50,000 so she can have some comfort at the end of her life. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We will be back right after this message from our sponsors.
Bertroche and Associates will provide you with a friendly, caring, and confidential place to find help for mental health concerns. We are ready for your call. We are proud to work with military personnel and their families. Our doctor, Dr. J. Patrick Bertroche, provides a full range of psychiatric services for children, adolescents, and adults in a forthright and informative manner while maintaining a casual, comfortable, and relaxed atmosphere. Our licensed mental health therapists provide individual counseling to children, adolescents, and adults, including couples and marital counseling. Visit our website at bertrocheandassociates.com for more information or call 515-334-9484. Our offices are located at 5525 Meredith Drive in Des Moines, just east of Skate North off Merle Hay Road. Isn't it time to talk to someone? Take care of yourself and your family. contact Bertroche and Associates.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking around. We are closing things out here today on the Doc and Lefty Christmas show, and this isn't your typical thing. We've got the Christmas music going. We've got the sharing the stories about what we've been thankful for the past forever, I guess. But we're also talking about a real story about real people and the tragedy and the hope that springs eternal from those kinds of things. And Matt, I just want to thank you so much for sticking around with us this entire hour. I mean, I know it cannot be easy. It cannot be easy dealing with this single thing day to day. I can't imagine what Nicole herself is going through. It sounds like a I don't know. What do I usually say? I've got this this sort of humanistic kind of Gallic thing that I do. It's a bummer, man. It's a bummer. There's no adjective that I can think of that makes it even. So nope, that's okay.
We've had a technical difficulty.
Nope, that's okay. But so, what? I mean, what do you want to? We got a few minutes there left, Matt. What do you want to tell the people here at the end?
I basically, everybody, like I keep saying, everybody has a cancer story. So this Christmas, even if it's not us, even if it's not our GoFundMe account or our what we have going on. Search the GoFundMe site, and they have a specific medical area. Find, look around town. There are people that need help. There's so many people that need a little extra boost. There are people that are trying, and they're doing everything that they can, and it's just still they need a little bit of help. And instead of, buying, just pretend that you're buying an extra Christmas gift, and even if it's not for us, anybody, it makes just a world of difference. Take $20 that you would use to buy a present and instead, give it to someone that needs it, and it'll mean the world to them.
It's GoFundMe.com. Keep Nicole alive. Please go out there and visit. Matt, is there any last words you want to say?
I really want to thank everybody for listening. I want to thank I want to thank you guys for having me on. This has just been wonderful. Nicole's been listening, and
hi, Nicole.
She's she was really excited about coming. She wanted to be here herself, of course, but she's not able to really get around too much, and she's with her family right now. So
okay.
But I'm really thankful to be able to have a forum like this to come out and speak. And find me on Facebook, and we'll talk on there. It's Matt J. Nyberg, and if anyone has any more information, they can ask me there, or they can email the GoFundMe account. And then I know that we're going to be a lot of the local musicians are going to be putting on a benefits show soon. They were talking about that.
Good. Let us know.
Yeah, middle of January, I think so.
Well, I want to thank Matt Nyberg for coming in and sharing a story. I'm going to say one of the last, not the only thing and not the last thing I'm grateful for, but I really am grateful we live in such a great country where we are so very generous and have so much. And I want to just tell everybody I am grateful for the things that I have and the people I have in my life. So and then Lefty, you got... he's out of gratitude.
Yeah,
that's what happens when you're on the left.
I only have so many things that I can hold in my head from minute to minute.
But there you go.
So as we're closing things out here, we've our accompanist Kirk. We really appreciate having you here. Are you a guy that plays around town? You got anything that you want to plug?
Lately, just been playing Christmas parties for friends and stuff.
Oh, fair enough. Matt, you got anything else you want to plug here before we get out of here?
Not really. This guy's an amazing guitar player. It's been great.
It was really pretty nice.
Yeah.
Come to my house on Christmas
I'm
Eve.
in the Christmas spirit now. I don't even want to hit you or slap you or anything, Lefty.
Well, I never want to hit or slap you, so what does that say?
That means that I am just a nice fuzzy bear.
Yep.
just a cuddle bunny extraordinaire.
That's right. I don't know. I think this is one of those things that this one, this one kind of took the wind out of me a little bit. Yeah, because because
we're usually full of vim and vigor and
because folks,
pea and vinegar and all that.
one of the things that I've been thinking about as we've been here is telling a story like this around this time of year when folks don't want to think about some of the hard things that are going on, not just in their own lives, but in other people's lives. And I know that the holidays are stressful for a lot of people. And I know that family stress and work stress and personal life stress are real things. And while I don't want to suggest take anything away from anybody who's going through a tough time, you just spent an hour with Matt Nyberg talking about Nicole, the mother of his children, his 2 kids, and the challenges that they're facing. And folks, if we've got a guy here in the studio that can sit here and tell a tough story and deal with this day in and day out and still have a positive attitude, especially around something like the holidays that is at the same time both so special and so stressful for people this time of year. Honestly, man, that's all I got to say.
Yeah.
And so thank you. Enough of this thanking us stuff. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for turning us on to what you're doing. Thank you so much for representing your family the way that you have here today. I can't appreciate it enough.
It is amazing. I was really the truth is I was expecting to sit down and listen to the typical cancer story because I hear those honestly all day long. It's what I do, and this is not your typical cancer story. The attitude that these people show, the positivity that they have, is inspiring. And even though this is a tragedy, they're really looking at this in the most positive light they can. So let's put pictures of those cute little kids back up there again. These are the people you're supporting. These are the people you're trying to help. GoFundMe.com / Keep Nicole Alive. I think we're gonna
have a link on the website. So if you're going, here's another thing. If you're going to the website to traffic in some of the grumpiness that we are such exquisite purveyors of, take a minute to knock it off. Put your life in perspective and click on the link to the GoFundMe site. We'll have it up here in the next day or two.
That's right. Great. We're going to go out. We usually have our thing that we go out on. I'd like to go out on this picture. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Are we going to be back next week? We're taking a week off.
You know what? Let's play it by ear.
All right. We may be back next week. Keep tuned. Look at Facebook, Twitter.
Yeah, we'll let you know.
All that stuff. Thanks everybody for coming in. Matt, Kirk, thanks a lot for coming in.
Thank you.
Everybody, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.